Good morning from southern Sweden along the E1 trail. Found another great spot, again on a lake, again in a forest, to camp for the night. It was a lovely, lovely spot. The gentle sound of the waves. I had a bunch of things I wanted to talk about, but one thing that I wanted to do is how my journey is sparking conversations. I mean, it's happening online, it's happening on podcasts, it's happening with friends and strangers who discover my story, but also it's happening in real life. And I was at a cafe the other day, and I was working all day, and it was getting late in the evening, and this young man, well, you know, it's funny how that term changes as you age. But he's probably in his mid-20s. Nice, clean-cut chap, wearing, designer frames, glasses. And he walks up to me and says, I guess he had noticed me toiling away. I write and edit hours and hours and hours a day when I can find good Wi-Fi. And I found this lovely cafe, and he's like, you shouldn't work so much. Like, why are you working so much? It's like, he doesn't know anything about me. He doesn't know where I'm from, doesn't know anything, but he just, for some reason, decided to talk to me. And I found that since I've been on the trail, people approach me, and people want to talk to me. They sense my energy, that I'm doing something unusual, that, I'd like to think that they see that I'm being authentic and living in my power, but that may be fanciful. But anyway, so he starts this conversation with me, and I say, I'm polite to him, start talking to him, and I say, no, it's like when you're doing something that's a real joy for you, when you feel the energy, when you feel like internally compelled, when you feel in alignment with the forces around you and inside you, it's not work. Like, I love what I'm doing. And I explained to him the trail, the project. I'm writing a book. I'm writing other things. I'm trying to help other people see through, work through trauma, depression, burnout, the ills of this society we live in. And he totally got it. Like, he totally got it. I mean, that's not exactly how I had described it to him, but not that far off the mark, really. And so he was inspired by it, and he told me that. And he said, from his vantage point, he graduated from uni. I don't know exactly what kind of job he had, like, he didn't want to talk about it. And so it's like when he saw me working, he associates work with toil, dread, something you have to do. You're being watched, you're being evaluated, you're not doing exactly what you want to do, you have to follow someone else's instruction, that stage in his career especially. And like he said, you are such an inspiration, like, after we started talking to me. And I said, well, it's pluses and minuses. Like, I'm uncompromising in some ways. I don't do half measures. I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've lived very comfortably materially. I've lived homeless. I've lived in all kinds of situations, in all kinds of places. I've worked all kinds of fields. And it's like, but it's taken me this long to finally find something that lights me up and where I feel like I'm contributing. I'm feeling spiritually clear and powerful. And I think I have something to say to other people. And one of that is just the art of conversation, which I've always liked. There have been times in my life where I've been loquacious or garrulous. There have been times when I've been very, very, very shy. All behavior is situational. That is, I heard this, it's kind of like I don't know if he calls himself a psychologist, researcher, behavior scientist kind of thing from the UK. And he says, all behavior is situational. Like, sit with that for a moment. Really think about that. A lot of people miss that, but I'm still thinking about it myself. But anyway, and then I had just a beautiful long conversation with a local small business owner in this small town, and he opened his business, a little restaurant, in December 2019. So we talked about that. We talked about, because at that time I was also a small business owner in Florida, and we discussed, compare and contrast the cultural aspects of that, how the scam narrative affected us, different attitudes, different strategies we used, different opportunities that came up because of that. And like, we realized that we were both being innovative in different ways, and our businesses survived and thrived through that period. And I closed mine down for different reasons, because I wanted to do something else with my life, but he's still running his. He does other things too. He actually has other entrepreneurial avenues. but we had this fantastic conversation. It was so funny because I had to break the ice in that one. So I just sensed that he had something interesting to say, and I wanted to talk to him. But at first he was kind of standoffish. I mean, we're in the Nordic countries, so that's not surprising. But he is a business owner, and he engages with customers all the time. Like I did. And so it was like, it didn't take that much effort. But then this other guy who I was surprised that he just came up to me and started talking to me and asking me questions, and it was refreshing and wonderful. And that's part of what the E1QB is all about: is opening us up, art of conversation, care and concern, and learning from each other. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you along the trail.